Hey y'all. Yeah, I don't know why I'm nervous in front of this camera. I haven't recorded in so long and I don't feel comfortable anymore. But anyway, I want to say welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a minute. I know I disappeared and left y'all hanging. And I apologize. Sorry, not sorry. I had to get myself together. I had to take a step back and just process everything that was going on by myself without feeling the need to record it. You know, y'all know how in the beginning I was like, I'm gonna take y'all through every step of the way. I want to show behind the scenes before I have it all together, and that's easier said than done. It's hard. It's hard to expose yourself when things don't go the way you plan. And honestly, that's kind of the main reason why I took a step back. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed because I just, when I think back to when I first started this journey, like I was so excited and I had so much faith, and I was just like, I'm gonna go out here and do this, and I'm gonna take y'all with me and all this other stuff. And then, you know, once I got to Arizona, I had the same attitude, like, okay, this is my new start. This is about to be my breakthrough. And it still ain't happened the way I thought. It's been about 2-3 months since I got to Arizona, and a whole lot of nothing has happened, and I'm gonna fill y'all in. So this is episode 1 of my 7-part series called Wait in the Wilderness. And I'm gonna be just kind of giving y'all a rundown of everything that happened in between. I did end up getting a job. It did not go the way I planned. It was not a blessing. It was a distraction. And then after that, I kind of just gave up, lost hope, and kind of didn't know whether I was coming or going. My depression came back, and I ended up going back home. Almost stayed for good, and did not want to come back to Arizona. But I am back, and also another reason I stopped doing videos is because I stopped feeling like I was worthy to like be an influence. And not to say I'm doing these videos to influence people, like I'm just sharing my journey, but at the same time, you know, I consider my channel to be motivating or inspirational. And because I lost my inspiration, I just felt like, who am I to try to help other people when I can't even help myself? And I almost quit for good. Like, to be honest, that was the intention. When I took a break, I kind of wasn't gonna come back at all because I was just tired of airing my business out. You know, I've gotten used to. I think I got so used to being vulnerable that I started to feel like I had to keep exposing myself in order to like maintain success on my channel. And that became overwhelming because it's like I just realized how much of my business I put out and how much I'm exposing my life to people. Like, it's to the point where people don't even really reach out to me on their own. They'll check my channel first to see what updates I have. And I didn't really start getting like texts and phone calls until I stopped posting. So it kind of was like, it just made me feel like super exposed. And I don't like the fact that people can just like check in on me and just see what I have going on, because, you know, a lot of people are watching because they're rooting for me, but then I feel like there's a lot of people watching just to be nosy and just to see like, is this really gonna work out, like waiting for it to blow up in my face. And I felt like it did blow up in my face, and again, that's where the embarrassment came from. And I was just like, I don't even want to share no more. It's hard. It's hard to take people along on your journey when it's not going right. And for a minute, I pushed through. Like, even in Dallas, the last couple of weeks, I didn't really want to record, but I was like, well, I committed to the process. I said I was going to take them, and I was going to share, so I pushed through it. But it's like, once things didn't go well in Arizona, I was like, because I was so excited when I started my job thinking that was going to be my new beginning, and when that didn't work out, it was just like, okay, girl, you all over the place. You just need to take a step back. But I had to remind myself that I don't have to be perfect. That's what this journey is, making mistakes and it's bouncing back, resiliency. And people do need to see that sometimes you're going to take a leap of faith and it's not going to go. I don't even, now looking back, I really don't know what I expected. And I had like a fairy tale, basically, a fairy tale in my head, and I just knew that it was going to fall into place. And now looking back at it, it's like I should have known that it wouldn't, because that's just how life is. Life is never how we picture it. And it's not supposed to be, because it's in those mistakes and failures that you really have the most growth. And that's what this whole journey was about. It was never about me getting a blessing. It was never about me being elevated and getting praise and stuff like that and prosperity. And I'm realizing that now. Like, God did call me to this, but it wasn't for the reasons I thought. It was because He wanted to develop my character. He needed me to fail in front of people, because that's always been my fear. I'm such a perfectionist, and I like everything to be put together. And I'm scared of taking chances because I'm scared of the failure that comes with it. Or I like to do things behind the scenes so that way if I fail, nobody knows. And I feel like He set this up just so I could fail in front of people, so I could see that it's really not that bad. So what? I took that leap and it didn't turn out the way I planned. I'm still here. I still have wisdom to share, because, you know, it's the mistakes that make you learn the most and help you grow. So that's what motivated me to get back. You know, this is not, it's humbling, to say the least. It's definitely humbling. And people need to see this. People need to see the mistakes. That was the whole reason why I did this. So I just had to remind myself why I started, and that it's okay, you know, and that it's not over. That's another thing I had to realize. Like, it's not going to happen. I thought it was going to happen, like, as soon as I got to Dallas, like, everything was going to shift. Like, this is a new start for me, and I believe there's still, like, so much that God is going to do in my life, but it ain't going to be the timeline that I thought. I still have a long way to go, and I have to just take it a day at a time and stop looking over my shoulder for a miracle to happen and just appreciate where I'm at now. So, another thing, going back to the last video I posted, when I shared that the pastor from that church I was going to gave the example of, like, people running from themselves and, you know, just packing up everything and leaving thinking that, you know, things are going to get better. And y'all know I was like, I didn't think He was talking to me at first, because I felt like I wasn't running from myself because God called me out here to leave. But, you know, after doing some more thinking, like, I realized I actually was running from my problems, from my situations. Like, I always blamed my job as the reason why I wasn't happy. And I always wanted to leave South Carolina because I just felt like if I can just get out of South Carolina, I can have a new start. But me being in Arizona and kind of recreating the same situation I had back home made me realize that it doesn't matter where I go, like, it's me. And the thing is, we know this. Like, I've heard that so many times, and I've told that to people. Like, you can't just leave and think it's going to be, you know, something different, because you take you everywhere you go. But I honestly, this is where self-awareness comes in, because I really didn't think that's what I was doing. And God had to get me together and let me know that's exactly what it is. Like, I had escapism, and I've always done it. Well, I feel like a lot of people do it, but, like, for me, it's kind of severe, because, like, I live in my head. I'm in my head 24/7, and I create fantasies, basically, how I want my life to go. I create that in my head. And I feel like that's exactly what happened, you know, with me leaving for Dallas. Like, I created this world in my head, and I'm like, I'm gonna go chase this. I'm gonna make this a reality. But that reality, that fantasy, or that change that you picture in your head is not going to happen without the changes that you make to yourself. Like, I'm trying to change all of my outside circumstances and not changing nothing in the inside. And to be honest, that's why I feel like things haven't really progressed for me, because it took me like just now to realize, like, you haven't changed yourself. You have all of this knowledge and you're not applying none of it. Like, I got all these self-help tips and all this prayer and all this scripture, all these ideas, and I'm not putting none of it into practice. So it's like, at this point, it's up to me. Like, I have to make a choice to progress every day, regardless of how my outside circumstances look, because it's the change in the habits that I do daily that will create change around me. So, that's where I'm at now, and have fresh perspective, and I'm ready to really start over now. I had to get my mind right. My perception, my mindset was just all off, and I'm ready to hit the reset button. And I'm just going to be sharing, like, the important lessons that I feel like have helped me reach to the... I'm going to be sharing the important lessons that have helped me come to this place that I feel will be helpful for anybody who's on this journey now or thinking about doing something similar. Learn from my mistakes, y'all. I'm hard-headed. I like to do stuff and learn on my own. But, y'all, take the mistakes that I make and that I share with you into consideration before you do anything rash or, be impatient. Like, just learn from my mistakes. Learn from them, and hopefully I can prevent somebody else from running into the same bumps that I ran into. But that's all for this episode. I just wanted to give like a brief summary of where I've been, and just to let y'all know like what I'm going to be, what kind of content I'm going to be putting out in the next couple weeks. And I hope y'all stay tuned and continue this journey with me. Bye.